Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix. And joining me right here is Taylor Tumlinson. Hey, Taylor, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. So, kind of tell us a little bit how you got your start with your music.
So I got started with music. My dad's a musician. So I kind of just followed in his footsteps. Grew up with him just playing guitar, every Saturday morning when I would wake up. And he had residency here in South Texas at a couple different venues, so I grew up going to those, jumping on stage with him, and decided it was something I really wanted to do as well. So I taught myself to play guitar with a little bit of his help, and then kind of took it from there. Started writing and started playing out on my own really early. So yeah.
What is one thing that you most enjoy about music?
Um, it's just one of those things, I couldn't imagine my life without it. Especially being on stage, there's nothing like when, you can play off of people who are responsive to your music, especially when it's something you've written and they're appreciative of that. Yeah, there's no other feeling like that for me. So
If you could duet with any singer, who would it be and why?
if I could do it with any singer, oh, that's so hard. Um, can I say two? I was
Sure,
either
go ahead.
Stevie Nicks, Cody Johnson, just because they inspired me a lot. And Cody Johnson's energy on stage is just incredible. He's a Texan, and yeah, I just think he's incredible. So one of those two would be the ones.
Do you have someone or something that inspired you to start writing your music and singing?
Do I what?
Do you have someone or something that inspired you to start writing your music and singing?
It kind of just came out. I started writing when I was like 11, so it was really early on. But I think it was Stevie Nicks who said, heartbreak writes the best songs. And so, just from experiences, I started putting them on a paper, when I was really young, and just kind of fell out from there. So,
Where can people find you on social media, Taylor?
so my handle is Taylor Tum Music, TUM Taylor Tum Music. That's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the things. So keep it simple.
Awesome. What advice would you give someone that might want to start singing?
Don't ever stop. That's the best advice. Don't ever stop. Always try to be better. Definitely try to be unique. Don't try to be like somebody else, but be inspired by other people. Just do it yourself and write from your heart if you're a writer, and don't ever stop if it's what you want.
Do you have any new singles or any upcoming projects that we can check out?
Yes. So my latest single is Bigger Than Texas. It came out on July the 9th. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, everywhere you get your music. And the acoustic music video just came out this past Friday on Monday, the 16th. And this Friday, the acoustic version's coming out. But before I left Nashville, I recorded an entire album. So there's a bunch of singles coming up. But those are the newest ones and the ones coming up the most, soon.
What are your hobbies and interests outside of music?
Outside of music, well, I really like to work out, and I would say my favorite thing in the world is fishing. So definitely offshore is my favorite, but any type of fishing, being in the sun, being on the water, definitely.
Awesome. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a great question. I kind of just am letting it, take me where it is. I just moved back to Texas, and so I'm really happy to be closer to family and, be in my home state. And yeah, I'm just chasing the dream as it comes, and we'll see where it takes me.
Absolutely. Describe your creative process when you create your music.
So there's a bunch of different ways to go about that. It kind of depends. I really like writing with other people, especially my friend Carly. She helped me write this latest single and a couple others that are on the album. So it can be anywhere from sometimes sitting in a room and saying, hey, we want to write a song about this. Sometimes the music comes first, sometimes the words come first, sometimes nothing comes at all, and we just, end up hanging out. But other times, if it's something that you're experiencing firsthand, it can just kind of fall out onto the paper, like Bigger Than Texas did. We wrote that one really quickly, and it just, so it's different every time, but I typically like to do the music first before the lyrics. So it just kind of depends.
What would you do if you made a mistake during performance?
Just keep on going. When I learned from Miss Charlotte Brown, who was actually a theater teacher, she used to say, when you get on stage, if your pants fall off, you just keep going, make people think it was supposed to happen. So you don't ever stop. You just keep going. Make up the words if you forget them. Just keep going.
What is one message that you would give to your fans or anyone listening?
Just thank you. Thank you for loving the music, especially the kind that I write, and for always supporting me and standing behind me and encouraging me. Yeah, absolutely. Just thank you.
Did you play any instruments when you were in school? And if so, what'd you play?
Guitar. I dabbled a little bit with mandolin and I dabbled a little bit with piano, but guitar is really the only one that stuck.
Hmm. Have you done any touring? I know we're kind of in this pandemic right now, but have you
Yeah.
done any touring in the past or anything like that coming up?
Not specific touring, but definitely played almost everywhere in South Texas growing up. Kind of branched out to Central Texas whenever I went to A&M, and then played all over Nashville, whether it be writers rounds or gigs. So not specific touring, and that's really not the first on the agenda right now. I'm working on kind of the rollout of the album, and then we'll take it from there.
What is it about music that makes you feel passionate?
Um, that's a great question. It's just always, like I said, I grew up watching my dad do it, and it's just something that's always been with me. I just can't imagine not, not goodness, not having music as part of my life. I can't imagine that. So I think it's definitely an outlet for me, the writing, and then just being on stage is. I'm comfortable being on stage. A lot of people, say, do you get scared? Do you get scared? And yeah, I used to, and sometimes it kind of depends on the scenario, but most of the time that's where I'm most comfortable is on stage. So,
What skills are most useful, do you think, in the music industry?
oh goodness, social skills, because it's all about, the connections that you make, the people that you meet, being there for other people, and being the kind of person that people want to be there for. So definitely social skills.
Absolutely, for sure. If you were a CD, what would you be and why on that
Oof,
CD?
that's a hard question. Like George Strait's number ones. It's got a little bit of everything in there. Yeah, he writes a lot about Texas, and then about water, and those are my two places.
What would a typical day look like for you?
So I do work a day job.
Mhm.
So it kind of depends on the day. I do social media for a couple different companies, so I get to do some fun stuff in my day job, and then still get to do music at the same time. So it kind of depends. Wake up, day job, I work out after work, and then I do music stuff, whether that just be social media or working on the rollout of the album. But other days I'm in the studio. It just kind of depends.
Describe your favorite and least favorite part about being a musician.
Favorite part is the energy you receive from people when being on stage. I'd say least favorite part. It's really hard. It's really hard. All of it is hard. Making your way is hard. Meeting people is hard. Just being exhausted and still being driven at the same time is hard. But if it were easy, everyone would do it. So it's also special at the same time.
If you could go open a show for any artist, who would it be?
Probably Cody Johnson. I just love his energy on stage. I have a lot of legends that inspired me, but I just love his energy. Maybe Leanne Womack. She's another one of my favorites. So one of them.
Did you ever participate in any music competitions?
I did. I did the Colgate Country Showdown, and I won. I think I won state. That was in like 2013. I won for state of Texas and went on to regionals. And then I think I got second or third in regionals, so I didn't move on. But I made it 6 or 7 different shows in between, won some money, and yeah, got a little bit of good radio airtime, and got my name out there when I was probably 15, 16. So started off on a good note.
Awesome. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your music career?
I ask myself that a lot, what I would do. Like I said, I can't imagine life without music. So I really could not tell you what I would be doing. Yeah, I have no idea.
When was the last time you performed in front of a huge audience?
In front of a huge audience. I recently performed outside of Dallas for a pretty big audience. It was a fundraiser for, I think it was a state trooper that was killed on the job, and so we did a big kind of fundraiser for him, and there were quite a good bit of people there. So that was
What is what is the best piece of advice another musician has ever given you?
has ever given me. Kind of the same thing that I tell other people is just don't stop. If it's something you truly want, put everything into it, and Don't listen to anything negative. Just do you. And if that's what you want, then go for it.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yep.
Is there anything else that I forgot they'd like to share with us today, Taylor?
I don't think so. Just go get my music. If you like it, if you like what you hear, follow me on the socials and look out for what's next.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say a huge thank you to Taylor Tumlinson for joining me right here on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's Best Country Mix. We truly appreciate your time to be with us today, Taylor.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.